my gosh, Winston, am I cool yet?
Yeah, that was good. Well, I remember what the call out at Spectacular was Swag Squad.
Yeah, or squad out, squad
No,
out.
no. Remember Swag Squad.
Droop, droop.
There it is. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So uncool.
It's all good, Alex. All good.
Like saying a password to enter into like the coolest club in town, kind of thing.
And the password is something like, "Can I please come in?" And you're like, XY7575. Like, no, it's please get the fuck out.
Calm down. It's the drip drip. It's the drip drip. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yes. Guys, speaking of which, guys, thanks so much for coming on today. Today is Schmoebates. It is a swag-themed debate episode tonight. So thanks so much for coming on today. Schmoedown's, I like to think of it's like the favorite Schmoedown debate show, but I try. But Winston, oh my gosh, you are here today. It's been a minute since you've, been in this kind of judging circle kind of situation. So.
Yeah, it was. You had me on for Parker, I believe. Parker versus. Oh my goodness, who was the other one?
No,
I don't think it was Eric.
No.
I don't know. It's all good. I'm sure it'll come to us randomly, probably like in the middle of somebody's argument. Oh, it's Parker versus Barbarian. Like it'll just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, not kidding. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is, or let alone what year it is. How can we remember what happened a few months ago?
Girl, we got to get you some sleep.
What? Just chug some MTC oil in the meantime, guys. But thanks so much for coming in today. This is gonna be one of the most hyped episodes I've been on in a very long time. I can't wait to do this. We have an amazing mystery ghost judge. Yes, thank you, Jake. It was Parker versus James White. It was a very great debate.
That's what it was. Yes,
yeah, it was really, really solid. And so we picked today's questions. Going into this, it's all gonna be questions themed around definitely one of the hottest factions in Schmoedown right now, which is obviously S.W.A.G. And you're really gonna help to determine who's gonna walk away with a big W today.
I'm excited about it, and I mean, you went and got don't tell anybody else. You went and got two of my favorite people in the entire faction, man, and they because the rest of them they're constantly just giving me headaches. Chandru out here calling everybody a punk ass, and Lon, I can't ever find him, and Paul's in Hawaii, and you know what I'm saying? So apart from Liz Shannon Miller, you got my two ride or dies right here.
Yeah, absolutely. They're great human beings all around. Absolutely. Let's just go ahead and bring them on. He's never been on, I think he has obviously been on Call to Action before, on Chilled Action, things like that. However, he's never been on Schmoebates. I'm super excited to bring him on. It is Mr. RB3. What is up, my dude?
What's up, y'all? Thanks for having me. Winston, those are kind words. There's no way I could be the favorite on the faction, though, because I'm literally 0-3, but I appreciate it, man.
First of all, you're only one for the season you've been on S.W.A.G, so that's the first thing. And second of all, you don't understand. If I'm out here acting like what? What's his name? Don King. You out here rocking the Flavor Flav. So in the same way, it's been tubulous. It's been tubulous. And it's something that you never seen in your hallucinous. It's Cabrera. And RB3 over here yo, Upset City Flavor Flav.
Yeah, that's me. What's good?
It's perfect. It is. I mean, it definitely really started the trend. Obviously, RB3, you're definitely one of the more underrated competitors in general. You're definitely one in the conversation of competitors we really do not see enough of, in Schmoedown. So I'm excited to have you on and see you debate, because obviously, even though you don't compete all that much actively on Schmoedown, you are a huge fan of Schmoedown. You've been involved for a very long time. So definitely one of the OG fans, essentially, right?
Yeah. I've been following since day one, and I'm close observer, not a great winner, but close observer for sure. So I'm excited to debate it out with y'all.
Absolutely. Well, you're going to be debating against a future Star Wars, belt champion. Absolutely. One of the best guys ever, squad leader, ace. bringing him on. What's up?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
What up, Playboy?
What's good? What's good?
Yeah, what's good?
Yeah.
I am so happy to be here. I've never been on Schmoebates either. This is my first time. So
no. For some reason, I had in my head that you've been on Schmoebates.
No. I was on Call to Action and I did a reaction with you guys to my match. Yeah, but I've never debated Schmoedown. It's my first time.
Well, okay, so you guys obviously huge fans of Schmoedown overall. Are you guys comfortable? Do you guys like to casually debate Schmoedown in general? Is it something you guys like to do behind the scenes, or is it just like you guys already invest enough time, energy, and love, within Schmoedown overall? Do you kind of feel like, yeah, we're gonna not talk about it, when we're actually just hanging out?
I mean, I feel like. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, we do, but we debate about a lot of things in life. So
that's true.
Just us having a conversation is usually a debate. So I think we've talked to death about.
I'm not afraid to disagree.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's my brand. It's disagreeing quite a bit. Yeah.
That's what that should be your new nickname for sure. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on Schmoedown-themed debate show. Just want to let you know what you're getting yourselves into, and just kind of go over the rules and format a little bit, since we were trying to we've been mixing it up over the past month or so. So 3 questions will be debated today by Ace and RB3. The winner being determined by the guest host and our ghost judge that will be revealed at the end of the debates. If there is a tie for each round, the audience votes will serve as a tiebreaker. Jake, our wonderful Jake Yacovetta, will be the one to include the links in the chat. So guys, definitely click away on that chat if the time needs. 60-second opening statements, followed by 4 minutes of open debate and 60 seconds of closing statements as well. The final round is determined by the host flipping the action coin, and the winner must win 2 out of 3 arguments in order to be declared the winner, of course. But each competitor has 1 30-second of uninterrupted time extension that can be used at any time during the debates. Opening statement, closing statement in the middle of, the open debates itself. So you can use that or not use it at your pleasure. So do you guys have any questions before we get started?
No. Good. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Ready to watch Titans fight. Let's go.
All right, let's go ahead and get down to it. Like I said earlier, we're going to be starting with RB3. You're going to be providing your opening statement first for our first question. You do have 1 minute on the clock. And Winston, will you please do the honor and read our first question today?
Mr. Robert Butler III, who is the most underrated competitor in SWAG?
All right. And SWAG.
Starting now.
Well, when we talk about the most underrated competitor in SWAG, there's only really one answer that makes sense in my mind. And I got to give props to who Winston picked as one of the later draft picks in the draft, who is one who has proven himself this season to be one of the all-time greats, especially in the realm of Star Wars. That's right. I'm talking about my man, Andres Ace Cabrera, is the most underrated competitor in SWAG. And here's why. You have to understand where Ace came from. From the very beginning, season 2 of the movie Trivia Schmoedown, Team Champs versus Team B Team. Ace went up there and he had one of the most spectacular failures of all time when the question was asked what 1986 movie starred Jeff Goldblum and directed by John Carpenter. He said The Thing and not The Fly. And that just defined his legacy. And now he's one of the Star Wars champions. So incredibly underrated and proven his run in the Star Wars
time. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to just hear more about it. Great pick overall, obviously, right here. So you definitely gonna get some fans in your corner already. We're gonna be moving over to Ace for your opening statements as well. You have 1 minute on the clock to really sell us on your choice. 1 minute starting now.
Alrighty, my pick is someone who is currently in the news. It's someone who's on fire. It's someone who has already proved themselves many times before. We've seen them in the past win and win and win. We've seen them in teams. We've seen them in singles. And I'm talking about not that Thunder. I'm talking about that Lightning. Lightning, Liz Shannon Miller. I'm talking about the winner of 2 matches already. Spoilers in the singles tournament. 2 matches that she's already won. We already know that her future is a bright future, but what she's doing right now is cooking. Not enough people talk about Liz Shannon Miller, which represents what underrated even means. Underrated means no one talks about him. No one talks about Liz Shannon Miller. And I feel like she is bringing so much to the table. She is racking up those points for swag. She is the one that is on top right now. And she just beat one of the toughest Schmoedown competitors of all time.
And time. Perfect timing for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Just saying, guys, I think I did forget to mention it earlier. Spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen the match earlier, also, why haven't you? I mean, it was a fantastic match, so definitely go check it out. But yeah, Liz Shannon Miller, who's definitely coming off hot off her win today against Ace, that is a tournament champion. So Winston. No pressure, right? No pressure.
None, because the man. See, regardless, I gotta say though, regardless of what the final decision is on this first question, I feel like Ace wins because either it's Ace underrated and he's the GOAT, or it's Ace's argument wins. So damn, RB3 put like a very.
I want my argument to win.
That's fair.
Let it be known.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of love for for Liz in the chat, rightfully so. But also, guys, I do want to just reiterate as well exactly just what Ace was saying. Everyone in the chat, I want you guys to help determine who the winner is based off the arguments, not just because we love this person or that person. Hey, Star Wars is my favorite league in Schmoedown, so I'm gonna go with Ace. Liz is absolutely all on a bag of chips, and she totally aced that tank girl question, therefore she deserves the best. We want to go based off of the arguments, not just because we love both these picks. All right, you guys do have 4 minutes to get debating. It really impress us and sell us on your choices. You have 4 minutes on the clock starting now.
Well, I think Andres, besides the B team loss in the beginning, he also had that tough match against Robert Parker. So coming back on the Star Wars run,
all you're talking about is L's.
Exactly. You need those L's.
Where's Liz Shannon Miller's L's, bro? All she gives me is W's.
I mean, but you've got nothing but W's. I mean, check that out. You have 4 W's in a row in the Star Wars tournament. Play-in match, James Schmoebates, former Star Wars champion, Ken Knapsack. Andrew DeMolanta, Laura Kelly, which was one of the greatest matches of all time. That's an underrated competitor. You came in at the 9th seed. Was that 9th, Winston? One of the last picks. So if that's not underrated, I don't know what is.
On the squad, he was actually number 10. He was my last pick in the draft.
The last pick in the draft. See, there you go. See, Tim pick ends up being our top star, one of our top stars. That's the definition of underrated to me. So.
Bro, Liz Shannon Miller took out David Del Rio. Liz Shannon Miller took out Demi. Liz Shannon Miller took out a very formidable opponent in Rachel Silvestrini.
Absolutely.
And now, are you telling me Liz Shannon Miller just took out KO's top player? Yeah, that's right. I said it. KO's top player, Corruption's top player, Chance Ellison. Liz Shannon Miller should be in everyone's mouth when it comes to conversation, and she ain't. This is why she's so underrated. She keeps getting them W's. People need to start talking about her. Where are these Schmoedown podcasts talking about Liz Shannon Miller? That's the hype that should be around right now. I want to see more. I want to see more Liz Shannon Miller talk.
She deserves
segments.
She deserves
call it lightning Liz Shannon Miller talk.
Hey, listen,
that's the whole segment.
She deserves all the segments in the world. She deserves all the attention in the world. But guess what? She walked into that match with Chance Ellison today as the favorite. She came in second with a 4-2 record. That's not coming in as an underdog. That's coming in as a favorite. You're not underrated. I think she's appropriately rated. I think there hasn't been people talking about it, but frankly, she hasn't had a chance to play. But she went in 4-2 into this match, comes out 5-2, and her only 2 losses were against Paulo Yama, fellow faction mate, and against Ben Bateman, both their next matches going on to play the championship. So she definitely is rated appropriately, I think. But when it comes to underrated as an underdog who came into this league and didn't have much expectations, I think Ace definitely overcame. So that's why I'll call him most underrated.
You're talking to me about this guy Ace. Ace, really? All right, going down in history as one of the worst Inner Geekdom debuts of all time. Like, my God, the guy got spanked by Robert Parker. Homie got destroyed. People were laughing at him for weeks, going in his tweets and his mentions. Like this is someone, this is someone who's known for that first L, man. I mean, you already talked about him losing to or me losing to. I'll stop talking to myself in third person. Losing to Dan Murrell and Mark Riley, missing the Jeff Goldblum. Like, how did he not know that Jeff Goldblum was in The Fly? Like, that's one of Jeff Goldblum's most famous movies of all time, man. Come on, that's an L.
But that's why it's underrated, because that person who came from not knowing Jeff Goldblum, who came from that loss against Robert Parker, ends up becoming one of the top Star Wars competitors, compatible with Alex Damon, who said on 2 occasions that he didn't know the 5-pointer questions that you were handed and that you got. So definitely underrated, and I think you deserve that.
I say Lightning Liz Shannon Miller because she keeps racking up those W's, because she's not always in the conversations when it comes to people talking about one of the best Schmoedown competitors. People underestimated her against Rachel Shivastri, people underestimated her against Chance Ellison, and yet she keeps racking up those wins.
Oh.
Lightning Liz Shannon Miller.
Ace is underrated. Ace is underrated.
Well, just like we're just gonna preach, these people, their names, more so, just chant them like gospel overall. Okay, so overall, there was definitely some solid points made on both sides. RB3, you really kind of emphasized, his, not only that he was the last pick in Winston's draft, obviously, which was a huge score, obviously winning the Star Wars tournament, but you really kind of combated, Ace's argument that she's underrated by saying she's, if anything, more appropriately rated, being the favorite and being one of the singles favorites going into the tournament. But the only losses she really has on her roster are like really like top-notch competitors. Just kind of combat that, Ace, you really kind of mentioned out that Liz, she's never in the conversation as far as, really great competitors that we need to look out for, is someone to look out for amazing matches. And, in spite of, having a really great record, she's never in that conversation with the, after shows and things like that. 'Cause she's just not, she doesn't have like a YouTube channel or Twitch or anything like that, where she's like, like vocally on the socials and the Facebook groups and stuff like that. All right, Winston, what do you think of these arguments so far?
I mean, you have some valid points. I've been gentlemen, you both have valid points. I mean, they both know. Most of the people here know I'm like the pettiest person y'all probably know on the internet. So like I have already spent most of my time today while I was doing my laundry reading all the comments more about, oh, poor Chance, man, Chance is the best, Chance is my favorite player, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, y'all ain't, like 5 of you been like, Liz, good job. Most of y'all like, man, poor Chance, but he's still player of the year, he won my heart. So like there's that part. And then the flip side of it is I hear RB3's arguments about like, he rough coming in, first 2 matches in Ace's career, hard, like they don't look good at all. But I remember every match how mad I was for Ace, and I know Ace was already mad, where they're like, oh, he getting washed by the kid we never heard of. Oh, he getting washed by a champ that ain't played yet. Oh, he getting washed by Laura Kelly because she's Laura Kelly, even though she already dropped the ball to champions. Oh, he getting washed by Dylan Malanta. His hunt, he's going to finish his hunt. And I was like, y'all. So am I supposed to give my answer what I think, or I just
well, I was going to ask, okay, so don't give your answer just yet. And same for our ghost judge, please don't make any like quick judgments. But Winston, what I do want you to really kind of let us know is what do they need to really pinpoint in order to secure your vote? What do they need to really hardcore sell you on, or maybe counterpoint in each other's arguments?
I think the biggest thing for me with all of these, and that's the case with most debates, obviously, is to hit them with the facts, but then hit me with the facts that kind of outweigh other ones. So, I mean, like, honestly, the argument of how rough Ace was coming into the Schmoedown is a massive argument. But the massive counter to that Ace presented was the fact that Liz is a silent killer because no one is paying attention to her, and they should be. So they both were very strong arguments that I latched onto, and the more that they went in depth and talked about it, I was being pulled back and forth, to be honest with you. So I will save my answer about who won, but those were the 2 arguments in particular that really got to me.
Absolutely. I do something I'm really kind of curious about to see you address in your closing statements real quickly is that, the definition of underrated to you and what it means within a Schmoedown and the conversation. But something I'm kind of curious is that is Ace. I felt like a little based off your arguments, he was very underrated, but I don't feel like he's underrated anymore now, considering he walked away with the tournament win. So I would love to see you really kind of address that. But also I would love to see you, Ace, really kind of talk about why she's, if anything, I'm not going to talk about my personal things about Liz because I think she's amazing. But I mean, because I think, honestly, personally, I do think she is pretty appropriately rated. But what specifically is holding her back as far as being in the conversation to be one of the best? So I would really kind of like you to pinpoint that in particular.
Wow, it's like she hosts the show on the regular because those were the exact things that I was going to suggest, and that's right on point. Yes, address those.
Winston. Great minds to go. Right. We're going to be, and since we started with RB3, we're going to wrap it up with you for this question as well. You have 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready to provide your answers?
I am ready.
All right. You have 1 minute starting now.
So to address the question of what does underrated mean, to me, underrated means the expectations were low, are low, but still always succeeds and surprises. I think in every one of Ace's matches, he's come in as the underdog and has left the favorite, except for his match with Demolanta. But even if he was a favorite statistically, he was still not seen as the favorite to win. But as opposed to Liz Shannon Miller, who is seen as the favorite to win, she had the Ethan Irwin co-sign, going back to the facts, Winston, she had the Ethan Irwin co-sign. She had 4 wins, only 2 losses. Only time she lost were number 1 contender matches or close to number 1 contender matches. And she's had a good, and she's just a generally, we talk about underrated. She's not underrated as a competitor because of her record. She's underrated as a competitor. She might be underrated and not talked about because she's not the biggest personality. But personality is not the same as competitor, and she is definitely proven herself as a worthy, appropriately rated competitor, not underrated.
Time.
Okay.
And thank you for addressing your definition as well as underrated, and definitely address that with the nice little bow on top. All right, over to you, Ace. You also have 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready, my dude?
Ready.
All right, starting now.
Alrighty, so one of the best parts of the Schmoedown is the Schmoedown community and the Schmoedown conversation. Fans are what make a league. And the thing about fans is that fans dictate conversation, and that they decide as far as who they think is on fire and who they think is worthy of conversation, who is worthy to be talked about. And Liz Shannon Miller, everything you said is right, RB3. The problem is, why isn't she in the conversation, though? My definition of underrated is someone who goes out and balls out every night. Every night they're just dropping dimes, dropping threes from the corner, and no one talks about them. Why not? We get it. She gets the W's, but that's not what it is. We're not talking about who has the best record. We're talking about someone who gets W's and yet is still not talked about. That is the definition of underrated. Someone who always goes after it, always goes for the win, and doesn't get talked about. She became the underdog in each and every one of her matches. Everyone picked the other person, and yet she came out the winner.
And time.
Oh, that was rough, guys. That was rough.
All right, you guys, that was really great on both sides. Absolutely. Jake in the chat is going to be whipping out that hyperlink to have you guys over in the chats to go vote. I do know there's there's 30, 40 of you guys in the chat just watching this. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. Go vote. Let us know your opinions. Help us determine a winner today. And also in the private chat, my dude Winston, my co-host and judge, but also our ghost judge, they're going to let each other know in the private chat who they think he's going to be walking away with the big win for this debate. So definitely coming in. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So now after looking over the chats, they have determined both of our judges are in agreement with the winner for this debate. And I will let you know who won this one in particular. And it is coming in hot. It's Cabrera with choosing Liz Shannon Miller.
Ooh.
Voting
One.
against yourself, which is always interesting.
I'll say, man, it was like RB3. You put up like a really, really, really solid, especially how you defined underrated yourself and then proved that. I think what ended up being the linchpin point for me is that Ace provided his own equal definition and then provided his factual evidence throughout, but especially in his closing argument. So that for me was the only thing. But man, whew, God, no, this is gonna be fun. We got 2 more rounds of this. Jesus,
Let's do more rounds. We always like to, we just like to know our competitors know who won the first round, just to make it a little spicy.
Sure.
You know?
Okay.
Right? Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, we're going to be going into the second round here in just a second, but real quickly over in the chat, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight a few things. And yeah, so there's a little quick to say, I don't eat donuts anymore, but they make me puke for some reason. I don't know what's with this. There's a lot of talk of like cakes and donuts and everything in the chat. And so can someone please tell me what that's talking about? All right. John Kaiser says RB3 gets no love in swag.
wow.
Oh,
You're
man.
coming here and sow dissent, man. Why don't you worry about who you got? Zip got to play Ethan Irwin. Why don't you worry about that? Why don't you worry about that match and don't worry about trying to pilfer my players?
Guys are trying to recruit. That's what's up, man. Hey, if you want somebody who's 0-3, man, go ahead. Go for it.
Oh no, RB3 don't do this.
No, I'm kidding.
Don't jump ship.
I'm kidding.
Not
I'm
now.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't let me cry, dude. Don't let me cry.
I'm kidding.
Mike Boop says, I knew Ace was going to be good at going into Star Wars because he's a host of a Star Wars show. Absolutely. But Liz, I didn't even know who she was. She is no joke. Very true.
That's very true.
Absolutely. Very true. Yes. Kaiser is always doing recruiting in here. Yes. But also he just wants to continue saying RB3 is the real facts, but Ace was right. All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Dana girl, Kaiser is putting in the good. I see him.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're gonna go into our. He's working. He's always working. Okay, we're gonna go into our second question. Winston, how is Shuri doing? What does she decide on the first question?
Well, I just gave her this puzzle toy today. She has already broken it.
Oh.
You want to talk about a record, an undefeated record? I have given her a toy, and within 8 hours, typically it's within like 30 minutes, but with no less than 8 hours has she broken every toy I've given her. So she is now at a record of 10-0 for toys I've given her that she's destroyed. So
wow,
you might be the real winner here.
I can picture like Christian being like taking her name, taking some notes.
I'm saying, right?
All right. Winston, could you read the second question?
Of course. Gentlemen, what swag competitor is most likely to turn heel?
Are you whipping out like the President Obama?
It seemed important. We're in a debate. We're just getting close. Hopefully, we'll see a presidential debate. I think it's important. But for right now, we got the 2 swaggiest people that I see. So I would love to know who they think is turning heel. I would love to know that.
Turning heel. On that note, guys, go vote when the time comes. Please vote in a few months, please.
Yes.
Really appreciate it. All right. Okay. So last time we started with RB3, we are going to be asking with Ace. You're going to be starting with your opening statement in here, just a hot second. Now you do have 1 minute on the clock to let us know your choice. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. And go.
All right, guys. So we know that Swag has a lot of good guys. Swag is known for people who do the right thing, people who go the right path, follow their own righteous path. However, there is one Swag member that is a beast, that is a freak of nature, that might be one of the best players in the Schmoedown right now, and who has kind of a flirtation going on with the dark side. And so far, we've seen a little bit of like anti-hero-ness, but I'm talking full dark heel. And that is my boy, Chandru, current IG champion. He will go full heel. He will go full evil. And he will show you everything he's learned in those IG movies with all those incredible villains. that he is going to dominate the league with this heel turn that makes him one of the scariest players of all time inside the Schmoedown.
And time. Are you saying he's not a heel already?
It's a great question.
Is he? Is he though? I mean,
oh shit!
Okay, I'm sorry, but you're.
I see a misinterpreted. I see a misinterpreted hero. Someone.
I think where you're coming from.
I see like a Punisher.
Okay.
Jenkins like a Punisher. He uses violent ways, but he's doing the right thing.
All right. Uh-oh, it looks like an RB3's indignant white man has something.
All right. You can just take a kick back, my dude. You just like take a nap for a few minutes, maybe everybody can be
well, you know.
You have 1 minute on the clock to let us know your choice. And we have a little drop in to you have a little drop in by Sabrina, I want to say.
Oh, no way.
Oh yeah, there she is. Right under Danny's comment. You just had it.
Oh yes, I could have sworn. Oh, there it is.
Hey,
hi, Sabrina.
Sabrina's
watching. Hope you're enjoying your trip.
Yeah.
Oh, so jealous. Just saying your pictures are so beautiful. I'm so jealous.
Also, happy belated birthday. I know I said it in a different place, but I didn't actually text you or nothing. So I'm sorry. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to hear some ghost stories, which apparently has gone down potentially. All right. You have 1 minute on the clock. RB3, are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do this. 1 minute on the clock starting now.
So for when you think of who's going to turn heel, right? I thought of who is the least likely to do it and who has the best chart to go down that route, right? And, I think of somebody like a Lon Harris, right? Who was the professor, someone really smart, someone really clean cut. Then boom, he fell on the hard times, economic situation. It happens. You know what I mean? New depression, COVID, whatever you want to call it. He's out there living on the streets. What does it do? It roughens your spirit. It turns you mad. It turns you angry. And guess what? After all of these after that loss, that final exam to Shazam earlier in the tournament, he's coming back hard. He's coming back angry. He's coming back ready to play. And Lon Harris is going to take that professor vibe and flip it to something that Andres already said. He's going to go from the professor to the Punisher. That's right. Lon Harris can turn full heel, make the transition, be full evil. He's one of the smartest competitors that we have in the movie Trivia Schmoedown. He could take that arrogance, he could rub it in people's face, and it could be totally entertaining.
Man, I'm already here for this nickname. I'm so excited for this nickname. Lon Harris, the Punisher. I'm not. I do think you also have a little bit of an uphill decline, just because Lon Harris. I mean, the Delinquent is definitely a very beloved, personality within Schmoedown. So both of you guys have some convincing to do for sure. Okay, Winston, as a potential, coach, mentor, manager of both these people, I'm excited to see which one's really going to sell you and which one would you rather,
Yeah, I'm very curious about where we're going with this. I mean, some of the stuff I want to see talked about, first of all, that will we call Chandru a heel currently? I don't know, but he got some tendencies, so we got to address some of them tendencies. And as far as Lon goes, it almost honestly, did you watch Professor matches? Because the Professor was a dick, so it's almost like he's a reformed villain. So I'm very curious on both sides with that, gentleman. How we come to terms with those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both of them have some heelish tendencies we have seen, but let's see which one's more likely to be an official heel, I guess. All right, you guys got 4 minutes of doing some open debates and really sell it to us. You guys got 4 minutes starting now.
The Delinquent? Come on, man. The Delinquent is beloved. The Delinquent doesn't have that inside his spirit, man. Just because he's looking for housing, just because he's falling on hard times, doesn't mean he's going to turn bad. The guy's just looking for a place to live. He's just trying to survive. If anything, he's one of the most beloved characters in Schmoedown. I really don't see that heel turn at all. And I'm talking about someone who flirts with the dark side. Someone
Is he flirting, or is
Yeah.
he fully in a romantic relationship,
No.
about to propose to marriage? Because
No.
there hasn't been a more
No.
polarizing character in the movie Trivia Schmoedown this season more than Chandru. I'm telling you, there's been whole episodes of Schmoedown backstage where they've debated if he's a heel or not. And listen,
Exactly.
you have to be a certifiable heel. That's my thing. The reason why I didn't pick Chandru was because he's already in that heel status. He already.
But you just said people
already
debated. If people debated, then it's not a heel yet.
But I mean, it's beyond
Right.
debate, even post debate. He leans into it. He goes on. They debated if he's a heel on Schmoedown backstage. He went on backstage and still treated him like a piece of dirt because that's the way they deserve to be treated. Because that's the way
they deserve to be treated.
Because,
that means you would have done the same. That means that's a face thing.
No,
to
that's
do,
not.
man.
That's not a face-facing thing because there's a different approach, right? There's the approach that's like the Paulo Nyamas or the Delinquents, where you could be smart and fun and still correct people, or like the John Rokas, where you can correct people and still have like the eloquence or that class. That's not what Chandru represents. Chandru is a hard-nosed villain already. He can't make a heel turn if he's already a heel.
This is what your problem is. Your problem is you said the least likely. The question is the most likely to turn heel. And you said Lon Harris was the least likely to turn heel, and that's why you picked him. Exactly. He's the least likely to turn heel. The question is who's the most likely? The question is who is already on that border? Who's questioning themselves? Who's really thinking about turning heel but hasn't gone the full dark side yet? And that is Chandru in a nutshell. Chandru is the one who is straddling the line between being a bad guy and a good guy. I'm talking about going full bad guy, going 100% heel, going full Joker mode, chaos, everything. That is what I want to see from Chandru. Not this flirtation, not bordering the line, not a debate and after shows. I'm talking about full heel. Everyone knows Chandru is a heel. He's one of the most feared heels in the Schmoedown. That's what I want to see. That is what is most likely to happen because he's already getting close to turning a heel. So I'm going based off the prompt. You're going based off your own opinion about Lon and Delinquent, one of the most beloved, nicest people turning heel.
And that's what makes that heel turn even more spicy.
But it's not most likely.
Listen, but I think it is quite likely.
About most likely. Who's going to do it?
Was a dick. He was arrogant. He was pretentious. He watched nothing but 70s.
And he's put that on his past, bro. He lost his PhD.
Listen,
he's living on the streets. He's humbled himself.
To a crackhead who graduated high school. They smart and they'll get in you and they'll insult you until you're done. So listen,
he's a crackhead who graduated his master's in his class in number one. That's a different level, man.
And that's the best heels. He's gonna start cooking people. I can't wait to hear the intelligent dissection that the Delinquent is gonna impose on a lot of people. Because listen, he's also most likely to turn heel because he has something to fight for. Chandru doesn't have anything to fight for. He's already the IG champion. Lon Harris has lost. He's had a good singles run, but not successful.
This is someone
he's had a good team run, but lost to Shazam. He has that power and that vigor and that energy.
Everyone doubted him in the past. Everyone said he's going to lose against Smets. Everyone said Smets is going to destroy him. Now he finally had this flirtation with this dark side. He is taking Kylo's hand. He's saying, I'm joining the dark side. I'm going full heel. Forget the First Order. I can rule over my own planet, my own galaxy, my own universe. Now that I am the champion, he's most likely to turn heel. That's what amplifies Chandru as one of the best heel turns of all time.
It's like legit harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah, that was rough, guys.
Like, both these debaters have made some really solid arguments. Schnikes. Okay, so Ace, real quickly, because I do know you kind of talked about how Chandru, he already technically flirts with the dark side, but it's already been in discussion whether or not he already is a heel technically or not, or is it official or is it just not official? We're not entirely sure right now, but he is, like you said, by definition of the question, he is most likely because he's already on the edge by your definition, right? Yeah, but also Lon Harris is very beloved, and how likely is that going to happen if he's already a beloved character? So, but also at the same time, Lon Harris has something to fight for. He is really great with character. I can easily see him as a heel overall. Yeah, it's, and not to mention he has been this kind of heelish character before. So that's something he can definitely return to with having that history. Winston, what are your thoughts?
I mean, this is another situation where, real talk, RB3, if ultimately you decide you're done with the movie industry, you might look into law, my brother, because you come with that hot fire. But Ace, I can say the same thing, bro. You want to go be like a high school debate coach? You want to go work paralegal? You trying to run a campaign for a politician? Like y'all got that smoke, son. So I think the biggest thing that that you're both gonna need to address in the closing statements, I think RB3, you kind of need to address the fact that like what you alluded at the fact that he took some hard a couple hard L's in his past, and he took a hard L with final exam. So there is something to be looked at there, and like maybe address what'll be the thing. I want to know, RB3, what is the last straw that makes Lon say fuck this and he goes evil again? And then Ace, I think the big thing that you have to address, man, and you started to get at it a little bit. Too many people already are like, man, like that. They literally went from Brandon Hanna is like the weakest heel I've seen to Brandon Hanna's not even in the conversation now, and they're already talking about Chandru being maybe heel of the year. So how is it that he's not already one? You maybe need to close that argument up a little bit in your closing statement.
Absolutely. I personally have actually made it a point to on several episodes of Call Live where we're debating the definition of a heel. And I was like, by definition, is Chandru not 100% a heel? And also, is he like not like one of the greatest heels we've ever seen in like the 3 days he's been an unofficial heel? So yeah, there's a lot to kind of combat real quickly. And over to the chat, Alan Smithy just kind of put it best. Don't let me choose between RB3 and Ace. It's totally unfair. I don't want to. Yeah. So far, Ace has definitely has some questions that he needs answered. I do see a little more consistent people favoring RB3 in the chat so far. So I'm excited to see your kind of wrapped up arguments. All right, so we're going to be starting with, sorry, I was just reading some of the comments in there, just made me laugh. And so we're going to be going to Ace. You really got to sell it to us how Chandru, also by extension, could you also tell us how Chandru is still not technically a heel?
No, you don't bite.
We've already talked about how he's already like a heel, has heelish tendencies and everything already. How is he a face? In that case. So really kind of elaborate on that. All right. You guys have 1 minute on the clock. We are going to be starting with Ace for your closing statements. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. Let's do it. 1 minute starting now.
Here's my thing. Just because people misinterpret certain actions from someone, people said that they didn't like that Chandru wanted to give a high five to Smets. That was him being genuine. People didn't like that Chandru was a jerk to the Finstock Exchange on Schmoedown Rundown. Who wants to see someone be nice to the Finstock Exchange? Finstock Exchange represents the biggest heel. If anything, he was repping all of us who wanted to see someone berate the Finstock Exchange. That was, if anything, one of the most face things to do. I don't see necessarily Chandru being a heel. I think he's a misinterpreted hero, which is why I'm saying, what better story than someone who has these dark moments, these quick little dark moments. That's one of the best movies you see, when someone has dark moments and you want him to go all the way, but they don't. And then they finally get the throne, and that throne is the IG championship. And now he can be king of the ashes. He can rule over everyone now, knowing that he has that IG belt. That's why he's the most likely to turn heel.
And time. Oh, right on time. Oh my gosh. I feel like you're like low key talking about the origin stories of Lucifer. I got kicked out of heaven and I didn't like it because I couldn't rule. So I'm ruling in hell.
Yo, it's a great show. If you don't read the comic, you don't watch the show, you got to get on it. It's amazing.
It's, honestly, yeah. Lucifer Morningstar. What's up? It's a great show. All right. So RB3. Okay. So, man, you got to really sell me why I don't want the delinquent and why I want to heal more.
Okay.
A little bit. That's what I want more than anything. Do you concur, Winston, on that?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Overall. All right. You got stellar choice. You got 1 minute on the clock starting now.
Well, here's the thing with Chandru. He can market himself as an anti-hero or not necessarily a hero all he wants. But that dude's a villain. He's a heel. No questions asked. Somebody who's that disrespectful to the game and to the Schmoedown, other competitors, is a heel. Heels are people who go at other heels. Bad guys take out other bad guys. Good guys take out people by just playing the game. Lon Harris is the ultimate good guy. He's done nothing but show it on the court. He's showing it. He's gone lights out. That's why a heel turn for him is the most believable avenue, because it's surprising, it's unexpected. He's smart, he's talented, he has the personality, he has the flavor, he has the character. His storyline is there. He's entering into a team tournament with Paulo Yama. That's where that heel turn can happen if they're unsuccessful there, or God forbid if that ever happens. But Chandru doesn't have that opportunity. He hasn't played until Spectacular for the IG championship, and he's already in those IG matches, already proven his heel status there already. Lon Harris, he's falling on hard times. His character is having a hard time. I can easily see his character being tired of the world, tired of everybody. He's just ready to take out his anger on the Schmoedown community.
Yeah, if you put someone in really tough circumstances and that they don't want to be in, let's face it, it doesn't always work out the way you want. Let's be honest. All right. So, yeah, you definitely sold me on the idea of, I just want, Lon Harris just doing more characters than anything. I just want more characters and overall. All right, in Schmoedown. Okay, Winston, you and our ghost judge are going to be letting us know in the private chat who you think won this debate. If you guys disagree, then we're going to also let the viewers also vote as well to be the tiebreaker. So yes, Jake, thank you so much, my dude. Whipping out that hyperlink. It's in the chat. Go guys, click away to help determine who's going to walk away a winner today. All right. And we are going to be going to our third round and final question, guys. So we got to find out who the winner is. Okay. Yes. Cohost activated.
Yeah, we both turned on that fast talking thing at the end. Yeah,
absolutely. Also, I have to say, everyone just go vote, please. I would really appreciate it in all forms. Vote in real life, vote in here in all forms. That'd be really appreciated. Okay, so real quick before we dive into the third round in the final question, I am just gonna highlight some things from the chat real quickly. Yes, Lucifer is your spirit animal. Are you?
God.
You okay? You want to hug? Do you want to? I also love that in the show, Lucifer, he sees a therapist.
That's the absolute. I also love how, like, at the start of the show, his therapist, he was like banging his therapist, and then they became best friends. I think that's like one of the funniest little elements of the show is that he just doesn't have a very good grasp on having normal human relationships, and him having to straddle that for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Video Drew says it's like drip drip, but more accurate to what it sounds like in my head.
She says drop. She says drop. That's why. Not being disrespectful. She just. Yeah.
Got it.
Would you ever recruit Video Drew to be on your faction?
I mean, yeah, The thing about Video Drew is that, like, I said that at the draft, it's not just a matter of your skill in the game. It's a matter of, do you have that certain je ne sais quoi? Troubling my French today. And if you notice, everybody that comes out, including Liz, like, again, go watch Liz's match today and watch her go, that's right, I'm a handle this bitch. And then she goes, tank girl, I score. Oh no, I swear sometimes. And I was like, yo, that's hilarious. Like, everybody on this team has got that, and Video Drew has got it in spades. So who knows? What happens?
Yeah.
Oh Lord. The only thing is, though, I don't know if I can deal with both the Delinquent and Video Drew. That might be a lot to handle.
It would be a lot.
That could be a lot for sure. You would definitely have your basket full, as a manager. Okay, well, we are going to be going into our third and final round. I do want to give you guys reminders. You both still have your 30-second time extension rule that I mentioned at the very beginning. Just want to reiterate real quickly. Let me take that down. It just says, each competitor has one 30-second of uninterrupted time extension. You can use it during your opening statement, closing statement, whatever it may be. We can pause the open debate as well if you just want that time to yourself, or whatever is kind of totally up to you, or not use it as well. Okay, so since it is our third question, we are going to be using the action coin to determine who is going to be going first. So overall, Ace, you did win the first question, so you get to choose. Are you team our Lord and Savior Andrew Guy, or are you team Trader?
I always pick Trader, so Trader.
Hell.
It is Team Guy, because obviously.
Woo!
All right, therefore, my dude RB3, would you like to go first or defer for the final question today?
I like to go first.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Winston, would you please do the honor of reading our final question of the evening?
Gentlemen, in swag, who is most likely to branch off to become a rival faction manager? And I will talk shit to on a regular basis before every match, and I will talk more trash than I did and do about Eric Zipper, that turncoat son of a bitch.
Can we acknowledge that this is a mean question? Right?
Why? Oh, because it's implying that they're not.
Because it's implying like they're betraying the team.
Okay, also, I really wanted to focus on is like who you think has the necessary skill set in order to be a manager.
Gotcha. That's even better. It
Also,
makes my choice even better.
All managers are rivals because they all have technically rival factions. But who has a skill set and the potential to be a really awesome manager or advisor potentially? So it's not that mean. Come on.
Okay. I'm sorry, Alex. I'm sorry.
I would never stir trouble.
Okay. Apologies.
All right. You have 1 minute on the clock since the coin did toss in RB3's favor. Are you ready to give us your choice, Ace?
My choice? I thought it was RB3 going first.
Oh, I thought you said you deferred. Or did you say
I want to go first.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I misheard. Okay. You have 1 minute on the clock, RB3. Are you ready?
Yep, ready.
All right. Let's get it going. Starting now.
Okay, so who in our faction will branch off and become a rival faction manager? I think this is actually obvious. This is perhaps the funniest that I think faction member that we have who hasn't unfortunately been able to play this season. That's Josh McCouga. I think Josh McCouga has the wherewithal. He was a season 1. I actually went up for the championship in season 1 of the Schmoedown. He's a veteran player. He has the fancy suits. He has the charismatic personality. I could already see the faction, the Wild Berries, the Wild Berries faction or the Wild faction or something like that, where they do wild, crazy stuff. Listen, and have any of y'all been to a frat house? Those guys are hyped up. They're energetic. Who else to hype you up other than Josh McCouga before a big match? There's nothing better than having that kind of energy, that kind of enthusiasm on your team. That's why Winston drafted him in the first place. So I think having McCouga, who hasn't played a match, hasn't been very active in swag, he probably is the most likely to branch off because he hasn't had much activity. And I think he'll be a great manager. He has the personality and he has the charismatic nature.
Man, man, maybe you're gonna make me cry. I miss Wild Berries so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Energy for days and the ultimate hype man. So yeah, absolutely. All right, Ace, you also have 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's do it. Starting now.
See, when someone thinks of a manager, you want someone who's smart, someone who has knowledge in the game, who's been around the game for a while. I picked the toughest, smartest, most well-known competitor, considering that he's a part of this community and he's been a part of this community for so long. And that is Mr. Robert Butler III.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing.
That's so cute.
Robert Butler has that knowledge. Being a manager isn't just being a hype man. Being a manager isn't just pure energy. It's knowledge in the game. And let's face it, Josh McCouga has been away from the game for quite a while. And let's face it, he wasn't necessarily the most knowledgeable Schmoedown person. Nowadays, the game has changed. We need someone who's in the grind, who's in the game, who knows it well, who's on SEN live every morning. That is someone who is Robert Butler III, who has that knowledge and has that personality and has that energy that will just destroy someone like a Josh McCouga, who probably has very little knowledge whatsoever.
And time. Two very different managers, and I want both. Can I get them both?
Good question. I would enjoy watching both of those factions for real.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'd be so excited for that. Yeah, two very different types of managers that I could see both of them happen. We have lots of different managers in Schmoedown right now, so who knows what the future can hold. Overall, Winston, what do you think of these picks?
I mean, I think first of all, I need to address this chat. Ace is not a heel. Y'all need to calm down. Y'all need to calm down. Y'all in your feelings. Calm down. Just because you picked Team Trader, look, Team Trader is already having he had a rough weekend. All right. How about even our enemies deserve a little rest from time to time. So let Team Trader have a rest. He is not a heel. All right. But all that being said, y'all both have super interesting picks here. Let's see. Ace, RB3 already kind of gave us the name of what Makuga would name his faction, probably either the Wildberries or like the Wild Men or whatever. So what do you think that RB3 would name his faction is what I want to hear from you to add to your argument. And then RB3, you know, picking Makuga is an interesting choice because you're right, he has the personality, but you've seen what I've done with the faction as far as a manager. I'm sure everybody else has kind of seen that. You've seen me behind the scenes because I've been working with y'all. And you've seen what they've done in front of the scenes. So what is it that Josh is going to do? I would say more behind the scenes. We kind of get an idea what you do in front of it. What would he do behind the scenes to really be a good manager? I want to hear about that too.
Absolutely. That is a great point. I would love to see addressed. Yeah, there's so much that goes into managing behind the scenes that, you know, we really are not supposed to know about. I do know that, you know, it's just like, you know, it's very secretive and it's very personalized to each faction and each competitors. And let's face it, I mean, just like in any sports team, different managers have very different management styles. So it's all finding what makes it click and what gives you those, big wins. All right. You guys have 4 minutes on the clock to do some debating and really get us voting in your favor. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do it. Got 4 minutes starting now.
Well, you know, Josh Makuga is a sports dude. He loves sports, he loves athletics, and he loves all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to what he'll have to know in terms of being a manager, he just takes from the greats. He'll take from the great coaches like the Phil Jacksons, like the Greg Popoviches, like the who's the old dude who does the Patriots. I don't know his name.
So you're saying Josh Makuga is going to coach a team when Josh Makuga doesn't even have time. Josh Makuga is doing his own shows. He's doing his own thing. He don't even have time for the Schmoedown right now. What was the Josh Makuga? What was the Josh Makuga match this year? I mean, he clearly does not have time for the Schmoedown. He clearly does not have an interest in it. We need someone who studies the game. We need someone who's been a part of the game. We need someone who's literally right next to Christian every day, and that's RB3. That's the guy who has knowledge as far as how many JTE rules, how many challenges you should put up. Josh Makuga would never know when to challenge. He would just be like, yeah, that's right. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, crap. He wouldn't know. Like, he's a great personality. I love Josh. Listen to the afternoons. It's a great show. But he is not a Schmoedown guy. We need someone who's a part of it, who has more connection, more knowledge on the Schmoedown than someone who's a part of the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. That's you. That's RB3. That's literally someone who knows the community. You're part of the community.
Who has
Josh
more
kind of isn't.
But who has more knowledge than somebody who was there from day one, who was there from the inception of the movie Trivia Schmoedown? That's Josh
Exactly.
Makuga.
Day one, outdated, in the past. Look how much the game has changed. The game has changed dramatically. Look at all these great shows that we get to be on because of how much the game has changed. These shows were back in season 1. Josh was just doing it for fun, and he happened to be kind of good. And then he got really bad. Let's face it, he didn't get that great. He was pretty much on a down spiral ever since that season 1. The game has changed since season 1. We're now in a different season. We're in a different time, in a different climate where knowledge is key. Passion is key. Being in proximity to someone who's knowledgeable is key. Who's going to get the hot scoops? Who's going to get the top knowledge as far as what's going on? Someone who's a part of SCN who nears and who knows all this stuff and who listens to it. Someone who engineers the Schmoedown rundown. That's RB3.
Guess who's closer to the action? Guess who's known these guys a lot longer? Guess who's known Tom Dagnino, who's arguably the greatest manager up until before Winston came into the league? Who's close to Finstock? Who's close to Ken Knapsack, the manager of the Droogs? That's right. Josh McCougar. He can have conversations with these people. He can learn from these people. He has a connection to this league in a way that I will never be able to have. Now, I may work for the Schmoedown and I may do like SCN, but I don't have any current involvement in the digital era of the Schmoedown, like as it is right now in terms of the production. So I wouldn't even be able to coach in this kind of digital way, in the same way that probably McCougar would be able to, as someone who's in the
McCougar is expecting a beautiful baby girl. McCougar's about to be a wonderful father.
Exactly.
McCougar is about to have his hands completely filled, literally filled with a baby.
And that's why
this is a guy who has his own show.
Doesn't make any sense for him. That's why
he has a baby on the way. This is someone who has absolutely zero time and zero interest in the Schmoedown. Clearly, we could see that by his playing in the Schmoedown, considering he hasn't played this season. This is someone who has no knowledge whatsoever on what the game has become. I'm talking about the manager who can bring that personality, who can bring one of the most well-known personalities inside SEN is RB3. That's the guy that people talk about. That's the guy that people are excited to watch their opinion on. So that, to me, bringing Josh, you said he's talking to Ken. We don't even know if Ken's going to be a manager next year. We don't know what he's doing with the Burning Drugs. We don't know if the Burning Drugs is even going to be a thing. I don't think that's going to give him knowledge.
Time.
Sorry. I feel so bad now. I hope I'm not being mean.
No,
you're right. Yeah,
but according to the chat, I'm being mean.
That competitor spirit came out. It's the same thing that comes out in those Star Wars matches, bro. Like when it's time, like I both love that. Just to brag on Ace for half a second about that kind of competitors. And RB3 has it too, but during the Laura match, when your 5-pointer came up, you're like from the World of Last Shadow, you're like, all right, great, awesome. And then they were like, oh, that's parking. Yeah, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, thank you. 3-0. What up? Like that. You got that Dame Lillard just like mentality.
I'll look at the camera for a minute. I did do that.
There's several people in the chat real quickly that are really bringing up some solid points. Dean Morgan says, for example, if Smets can do it, so can McCougar potentially. So that's definitely a good point. Obviously, they're both are having the wee lads. And
Smets. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, McCougar is about to have his hands full with the dental force battle for a gender reveal party. So,
oh God, video Drew, Jesus Christ.
That wasn't Josh, by the way. Full disclosure, it wasn't him.
He didn't do it. Okay, good.
He didn't start the fire.
He didn't do that.
Thankfully.
So just want to remind you, I do know that Winston mentioned it in the private chat as well. You can use your 30 seconds of uninterrupted time. If you can use that, if additional 30 seconds of additional uninterrupted time, just want to clarify. Use it, not use it, totally up to you, but you should use it. Just putting that out there. Okay, so Winston, we are going to be going into our last closing statements of the evening to really help a winner today. What do they really need to sell you on? What do they really need to crack down on to get your vote tonight?
I mean, and we'll see if the Ghost Judge has anything they want to interject as well. But my biggest thing, guys, for both of you, honestly, you both told me about like the passion they would bring to it. You both told me about the proximity to the Schmoedown, whether it be RB3 working at SEN every single day or McCougar being there from day one. But you both have been there to watch the training we do and the coordination and all that and the strategy that we set up. You guys haven't really mentioned any of that. You don't need to get into details about what we do, but what do you think that each one of these potential managers would bring to the table as far as a behind-the-scenes type level? What are they doing to elevate their players?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Also, our Ghost Judge has mentioned in a private chat, like saying, "Hey, whoever picks Oyama comes out with a strong lead here."
Oh, so, they also said that was a little late for that. But did you see the one he just put? The Ghost Judge they put. I'd like to hear each competitor say why they think what they think the number one most important job is for a manager.
Great point. Yes, thank you, Ghost Judge. That is a great point to make. So it sounds like for the closing statements, what we really need to focus on is behind the scenes necessary skill set, what they can really bring to the table, but also what is the best skill set you can that you need for a manager. To be a manager, you need to be a million and one things. What's most important? Okay, you guys have 1 minute on the clock. All right, RB3, are you ready for your 1 minute?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Oh yeah.
Let's do it. All right, Stella Twist. You have 1 minute on the clock starting now.
Okay, so when I think about when I think about what Andres Ace Cabrera is arguing and having me as the manager, right? And you're talking about time commitment and all this stuff. I literally work for the Schmoedown. So like even in days where I might have to be like, especially when we're in studio, if I'm going to be a manager, I'm literally holding the camera. I'm literally setting up lights and production stuff. There's no way I can manage a match while the game's literally going on and I'm like producing it and working it. So there's no way I could be a manager to fullest capacity. Now, when you ask me what the job of a manager should be, it should be the job of like a coach. It should be to train. It should be to institute values. And listen, Josh McCoog is a hard worker. He'll bring that real life coaching into the game. And he brings that motivational factor. Like I said, that frat boy mentality. He'll make sure you get a cold beer before every game starts to make sure you have that level of confidence walking in. So that's what he'll do as a manager. He'll make sure all of his players go in feeling bright, confident, heavy, ready to go, like in true and tried Wildberry's fashion. So that's why I think he'll be a successful manager. And as this 5 seconds go out, I would like to take my 30-second uninterrupted break right now and just keep going on how great of a manager Josh McCoog will be, because again the question is, who will most likely be a branch off? Who's most likely a branch off of Swag to begin with, just because of the fact of not being able to play, is Josh McCoog. So that's already that half of the answer. To become a rival faction manager, listen, he has the personality, he has the name. Look, it could be the Wild Berries faction, it could be the Wild Man faction, it could be the Wild Woman faction, it could be so many possibilities, but it doesn't matter. He has that ingenuity. And guess what? He also has a good institute for the will. Not a lot of people talk about that, but he's always been good no matter what round two he's able to get. He's able to coach competitors in that very specific way. And listen, he also has that luck factor that Josh McCoog has too. So hopefully some of that luck will rub off onto his competitors. He'll maybe teach that game of luck. He'll teach people how to spin the wheel. He'll teach things people haven't been able to do. And I think he'll be an excellent manager if he breaks it off.
Time. Man, actually, wow. I'm not gonna, I can definitely actually really see it after that closing statement for sure. Okay, now and actually you made some really great points about how can you be involved in production, holding the camera, doing your thing, and being awesome behind the scenes for Schmoedown, also be a useful manager or being hands-on, actually being involved in the management aspect of the show as well. So great point that you have made. And now we're going to be going over to Ace to really sell us on his closing statement as well, just favoring in RB3. Okay, are you ready for your closing statement?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you have 1 minute on the clock starting now.
First thing I want to address, you really think that you would be holding the camera if you were a faction manager? We know Christian is smart. Christian's a smart guy. He's going to get someone else to do that. Anyone else can do that. Right now, what you need is to be the manager of this faction, and he will give you the time. He will give you the space. He will give you any time you need to start that training and to get that time. Plus, if there's anyone I know, because I literally work with you, so I know that if there's anything you can do, it's squeeze something into your schedule, because I feel like the best person who can squeeze anything in, the guy who's doing 20 different things and he can do 22, because that's the kind of guy that RB3 is. He will make that time for you versus someone like a Josh who didn't even have time to do a Schmoedown match this year. Let's face it. That's one of the worst things you can possibly do, to branch off to be a manager when you don't even have time to be a Schmoedown as a player. And you're going to think he's going to have time to be a Schmoedown as a manager? That doesn't make any sense. And I'm adding my 30 seconds just like RB3 did. Shit. Let's address something else. That name, the Wild Men, the Wild Berries. The Wild Berries is already a tag team match, so you can't use that because Elliot Dewberry isn't going to be in there. So that doesn't make any sense. Who wants to be called the Wild Man? That doesn't make any sense either. How about this? How about the RB3's Triple Threats? The Triple Threats. That's a faction right there that everyone wants to be a part of. What's the best thing that changed the game of basketball in the past 30, 40 years? It's the threes from the corner. So I think Everyone loves hitting threes. Wild man, I don't want to be a wild man. I want to be with someone who's one of the biggest personalities inside SEN, and that's RB3.
Wow.
Dang, man. That I can't listen. I can't argue against compliments.
RB3 is like, yo, let's do it right now.
Can't argue against compliments. I mean, good grief.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for debating all of our questions today. Just want to reiterate real quickly. The first question being, who is the most underrated competitor in swag? The second question being, what swag competitor is most likely to turn heel? And the final one, we just heard debated spectacularly today in swag, who's most likely to branch off to become a rival faction manager? Yeah, so you guys can go over and let us know your opinions in the links below. Let us know your thoughts and who you think it should be walking away with a big win today. And in the meantime, I'm going to be waiting for both our judges to come to a final decision, and we'll kind of take it from there. All right.
Do we get to meet Ghost Judge?
No, we will in a few moments. Yes, once we find out the official winner, we will bring them up. So, do you guys have any predictions on who it is?
I mean, Sabrina's in the chat, so I thought it might.
No way.
Been her, but
there's no way.
She's popping up from the
She's
middle
like
of Colorado.
From her
Yeah,
no, that's not happening.
Oh man.
I don't know. Chandru. It just
Wade?
popped up as soon as you mentioned him. He's like, "What's up?"
Yeah, can't argue against compliments. That's facts. That's facts.
Yeah. $5 says it's Jay Washington.
Ooh, that'd be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna confirm or deny anything yet. Winston, Manager of the Year 2020, RB3 Manager of the Year 2020.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I gotta say, man, like I would never take anything away from what Shannon and Corruption is doing. But you gotta love how we were just the flavor of the week for them. They were all right. They were riding us when Ace was taking the tournament.
Yeah.
And then finally, they was all of a sudden, man, fuck all that shit. It made you year now. Shit. And I'm like, okay, all right, y'all, cool. Y'all got short.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just proved them wrong.
Level 2 Trading says, Ace, bro, I need a lawyer. My ex-wife wants to. You both
I'm there for you, man. I got
you. Says, gold and purple 3S. Shut up and take my money.
That's
Yo,
a good one.
I would be real with you. I really wish that because we're done with the debating, right? We're just waiting on the results. So I was really hoping that RB3 was gonna come because it's just stuck in my head, and I know I got you by a few years, man. But if you would name Makuga's faction the Wild and Crazy Kids, I would have been like, instant win. Fuck this. Instant win for RB3.
Dang. Yeah, I should have had that. I thought about Wild Wild West, but I didn't know if that would make sense.
Ooh, that would have been fun.
I low-key, honest to God, love that movie.
Yeah.
At the right age for me. I was 9-10 years old. I was just getting into action adventure kind of things, and it had this whole steampunky vibe thing that I was really into. And it's just so, come on, it's Will Smith. What isn't too fantastic? And it's just corny and fun, and there's a big metal spider and kind of it's kind of fun.
The story behind that big metal spider is kind of crazy too.
Can you talk about that big metal spider real quick?
I think this was actually, shout out to John Schnepp, RIP, one of the great directors. He talked about it in his documentary. I forget the name of the documentary. I'm so sorry.
Death of Superman Lives. What happened?
Death of Superman Lives. What happened? He talks about how that producer wanted a giant spider in the Superman movie. And he was like, absolutely not. I will not put a giant spider in my movie. And he's like, fine, I'm going to make my own movie. I'm going to cast one of the biggest stars of all time, Will Smith, and I'm going to put a giant damn spider in a movie. And he made Wild Wild West literally just because of a giant spider, a giant metal spider. So it has that connection with Schnepp, which I think is really cool. But by the way, that was my biggest thing, dude. It's like, who wants to be wild men?
No should sound like the Wild Bunch,
the Wild Men?
Somebody said the Wild Bunch in the chat. There's some good names I could have went with. But...
Oh, they could have been like making history because he's the making history factor.
See.
History. Oh, that would have been a good one.
That would have been good.
Oh,
I could have done the. I just thought of it right now from Legend of Korra. Shout out to Legend of Korra. The triple threat triad is the gang in there. But I just thought Triple Threats was dope too. So
that's fine.
I think that's a dope name. Triple Threats. What's good?
That's a good one.
But the best one that I actually heard was someone put RB3's faction would be the director's cut or release the Butler cut, something like that. I was like that would be fire.
Release the RB3 cut. Yeah.
Release the RB3 cut. I'm there for that.
That's hysterical. Yeah.
Oh man, that's good.
Schnepp, I miss Schnepp so much. Yeah. Oh my god. Everything he was involved with is so great. If you haven't had a chance to, go check out that documentary, it's fantastic. It's really, really great. I'm personally, I have never seen Superman, the first with Christopher Reeves or anything, but I actually saw the documentary and I really, really enjoyed it. It's really cool just to see a lot of behind the scenes of what it takes to make a movie and how difficult it is and how much genuine love is necessary and to go into such a hard field as it is. It's difficult. You have to love it for sure. Okay, so we have our answer. We have our winner. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just let you guys know who it is, and then we're gonna find out who our guest judge is.
Sure.
All right. So guest judge, ghost judge, be prepared very soon, and do not turn off your camera yet.
I'm still here. She's eating plastic, so I'm gonna give her dinner. I'll be right back.
Fair, very fair. Well, we're just gonna hang tight for a hot second. But I got the votes in, and guys, oh my gosh, question number 2. Oh my Lord, it's getting intense. So I am kind of curious. Did you guys, any of you guys, would you have changed your answers or looking back at some of your arguments?
No. No.
Still sticking to it?
Bro, that underrated Andres. Ace.
I mean, that's true. I mean, that's how I feel, man. I mean, that's real life, bro. You are underrated. I mean, how can you not be underrated?
I like in question 1, you argued in favor of Ace, RB3, and then question 3, Ace argued in favor of you.
That's right.
Hey, see, Ace 1, see, and then RB3, question 3. What? Huh? What?
No, Ace wins the whole thing. Just joking.
Well, we are going to be going into the questions. Question number 1 being what is most underrated competitor in SWAG, winning 2 out of the 3 votes. We've already mentioned it earlier. It is Ace Cabrera. Also getting it with 84% of the fan vote as well.
Oh wow! Hey, that's what's up.
For question number 2, what SWAG competitor is most likely to turn heel, winning 2 out of winning 2 votes and actually very equal on the fan vote? It is RB3. So currently it is sitting 1-1. Sitting at 1-1, guys. Woo!
I want to win.
And for the final, the winner is with 89% of the vote in favor of Ace Cabrera.
Yes.
Winning 2 out of 3 today. Well done on. Oh, that's a winning 2 out of 3 arguments, being our winner for the swag themed episode. Congratulations, my dude.
Thank you. I love debating. This is what I do for a living. And for a living, I mean debating my dog, my parents, my friends. I did high school debate. This is what I do, man. I love it. Yeah. So I want it to win.
Well, the proof is in the pudding.
Here you go, bro. Let's see. Hold on. Let me turn this up real quick.
Oh,
there you go.
RB3. It's all you, bro.
Nah. You ain't ready for it. You ain't ready for it.
It's always a party over here.
You know what? Ace almost should have. I guess that you guys picked two really good choices for underrated because both Liz and Ace are not mentioned in the song. We got to change that.
Oh, no way. I didn't even know that.
He is. Swag,
Oh, no
swag,
way.
drip. He didn't know about it. We don't need a bib. Swag, swag, drip,
You're
drip.
great.
Something on the drip.
Hey.
Drip. Got the swag, drip.
This is like
Never
like
lose.
against a prom.
Yeah. R.I.P. prom.
Yeah.
Memories. Oh.
And I gotta say though, I can't like I'm not gonna be mad at Ace winning the third question when it's nothing but positive stuff about me.
Hey.
But what I will say, I am shocked because as I was making the Josh McCougar argument, I thought I had like the surefire thing like locked in. Like I gotta be McCougar, but Andres be coming in with the hardcore facts here. So I don't know.
Coming with the facts, bro.
He hit me with that time, and especially because RB3, you could actually see the back and forth with the ghost judge. We're like, damn, RB3's argument about like I'm behind the camera, how the fuck I'm gonna do this. We were like, ooh, RB3 might have just sold us, but then Ace countered with, you don't think Christian, knowing you're a manager, wouldn't find somebody to handle the camera?
He's not dumb.
All Ace had to say to finish that argument completely is be like, dude, Dwayne is out here helping with camera work too. Dwayne can handle that while you managing. And I was like, yo, that's ooh.
Yeah.
To be fair, Dwayne will probably be the best manager out of
That's
anybody.
true. Yo, that's so true.
If you talk to Dwayne,
that's very true.
He'll get in on a bunch of
That's true.
Stuff.
That's a seal of approval from First Cut.
Oh yeah. Not kidding.
The meeting now.
Ghost
Judge. Who's Ghost Judge?
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention, Camshaft says, who is the Ghost Judge? I'm just going to see if I'm going to add him up here real quickly.
Turn on the camera.
Ghost Judge. I just see a...
No, down at the bottom.
What? Who is that?
Uh-oh.
I can't.
They're at the bottom, next to mute. There you go.
Oh, it's an actual ghost. Jesus.
Oh.
Woo!
Lon, I finally
What?
Lon, I'm glad I found you. Look, this new kid you got to go up against this Collins guy. This is gonna be a real. Lon, Lon. He KO'd Roka. Lon, we have to study.
Listen, I heard that I'm going up against a coyote, and like they don't even know how to write things. That's an animal. I think I got this.
Look, it's fine. Just ask Ben Goddard. He knows how to fight mountain lions, so maybe he can teach you how to fight a coyote.
He's been teaching me all the different kinds of birds, so we'll just transition right into that.
When I go caw,
Right, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Drew, one of my favorite people in the world, and Lon, also one of my other favorite people in the world. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad to have like both of you are like low-key ghost judging today. And Drew, I know you love debating. I know you love judging as well. So this must have been a treat, like doing this together, in this kind of collaborative judging process.
I recused myself except for the part where when you guys said my name, in which case I paid a lot of attention, but the rest of it I recused myself. They would ask me, what do you think she win? I don't know.
Yeah, she was mostly coloring except when Video Drew was mentioned on screen, and then like would perk up a little bit.
Yeah, it's good.
Or when people were talking about what a dick I was, that would also be like, what? Oh, I agree.
I'm sorry, Lon. I'm sorry.
Lon, overall, this is the first time judging on Schmoebates, so thanks so much for doing this with us. Well, overall, what did you kind of think of some of the picks, and what would be some of your picks with some of the questions today?
I was really impressed by all the picks. I also thought in that final round when RB3 said McCougar, I was like, oh, that's a great, like, I blank on him even being in our faction because he hasn't been playing much. But I was like, that would be a brilliant. He's so funny, lively, would come out, get everybody motivated. I thought that was like the silver bullet, but then, I just thought there were great arguments too. Also, my personal thought on that round was Paul Oyama, like the strategy, the depth that Paul Oyama will go on. Like, I'll throw out, be like, what should we put on the wheel against this guy? I'd be like, what about horror? And I will get a like 10 text thread back of like why that's a bad idea, citing chapter precedent, like a legal case. It's like crazy. Like, that guy's knowledge about the Schmoedown, I don't know if people really understand.
I don't think he'll ever stop playing though for that reason. He's never gonna
That's kind of my thing too.
Yeah,
underrated competitors. I definitely think Yama should be in the conversation as well because he's a former singles champion. He is being part of with you guys. It's being part of the great team as well. It's kind of weird how I don't really hear him in the conversation as like one of the greatest singles competitors ever, which is really interesting to me considering his awesome record. In spite of sure he has a few misses recently, but the man's human, and you can't deny just how great he is.
Yeah,
too. Like he's so young. Like I've got a ridiculous advantage over him, being like twice as old as him. And yet he's like better than me at the game even now. Like imagine when he gets another 5 years behind him of watching more movies and studying. Like it's insane. So he was the first one that popped into my head when it was like, what member of SWAG would make a great manager? Is like, no offense to Winston, but yeah, that would be a powerhouse.
None taken, dude. And I mean, like the biggest thing that I give Paul so much credit for, if you just want like some insider behind the scenes stuff. So when Chandru put forth his challenge against Smets during the championship, when the match was over and I checked my phone, I had like 12 text messages from Paul be like, he needs to challenge the. Yes, great argument. And for this, and this. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And on top of that, because again, we're not supposed to be looking. So I always put my phone to the side. Then he also put on there, he was like, and it was the president was there for this match and did the exact same shit that Chandru said. He had it verbatim. And I was like, holy crap. Like that is like he is on a whole nother level, honestly.
Yo, Chandru.
What up, Chandru?
Yeah, what's up? And yeah, I obviously I feel like in round 2 that kind of got thrown off. Like as much as I would love to do a heel turn and like you'll consider it, take it under advisement.
You really like the Punisher.
I love that. Like yes. Punisher. Oh, the Punisher would be a perfect heel nickname. I appreciate that. But I feel like that round got thrown because Chandru to me is not only a heel, I think the best heel in the game right now. That's my opinion. Like the most effective, get on there, make people do amazing, be a great personality that's part of the Schmoedown, but make people hate you and want to see you go down with like a vicious passion. Like that, who's better than Chandru at that? Nobody, I would say.
Yeah. I've always thought it was like a flirtation, which is why I was like, most likely just embrace it.
He's just like straight up calling everyone out.
I think it's I think a guy dancing aggressively at you that's a heel. That's heel behavior.
The minute he got that belt and started dancing with the belt, I was like, he has gone full. Yeah. Like,
when someone starts dancing when the cameras aren't around, like, come on, it's too much.
Ace, did you see the fact that pretty much he watches every match that goes up, and when someone loses, he goes, "Damn, I don't even do regular ass Schmoedown, and you drop that, y'all pathetic." Like he just comes and drops like a little thing here.
My favorite.
Oh my God. No one is healing on that level right now. I don't think.
My favorite promo of all time is Chandru's dance promo against Smets when he's dancing outside the Collider Studios in the middle of the in slow motion.
I believe that promo was shot immediately after our first promo featuring the Delinquent. Those were like, I remember Chandru doing his dance right there behind the studio.
Yep. It's amazing because it's that weird idea of like, hey man, I'm happy to be here. I'm dancing. And he's like, I'm going to kill you. I just want to And then he goes back to flossing.
my favorite Schmoedown gif right now is him like, then after the dance, the little wink at the camera when he does the little finger point. Oh, great.
Chef's kiss,
Chef's kiss.
It's kind of weird. From that first promo, I mean, it's kind of Smets kind of makes it seem like I know what you're doing. I know this is like all face kind of thing. I know what you're doing for it. And I honestly thought from then on, it was like I was like waiting for him to do like a real big turn. from the get-go.
Yeah.
I felt like you could kind of see it in that because you kind of see it's like small little. Oh, what? I would never. What?
Yeah.
That's how it felt. So, But guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight's episode of SWAG-themed debate. Winston, my dude, putting together, drafting such an awesome, kick-ass all-around faction. Everyone is amazing. RB3, words cannot express everything that you do for Schmoedown. Everything. You're doing like 1,000,001 things. And I don't know how you're doing it. Like, I can't imagine your schedule, but you're doing it and you're kicking ass. And we appreciate you so much for doing it. Ace, you're going to win the belt here for the Star Wars belt here in a few months. So it's just a matter of time. Let's face it. Come on. I'll probably see you like next week for like Cinema Bias, right?
Yeah, unless we're doing Godzilla quiz tomorrow. But one of those.
Oh, yeah, Godzilla quiz.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that standing up lizard.
Standing up lizard.
Standing up.
Yeah.
Stand up lizard.
That lizard that just likes to stand around.
He just looks like stand up all the time.
He's just
walking
like,
around.
Because I just saw Godzilla for the first time, and I said, "Is that a standing up lizard? Is that what Godzilla is?" And I turned into a croc. I go, "Is it a dinosaur? Or is it standing up lizard?" And like, that's a fair question because I didn't know.
Is it?
It's,
He's
yeah.
just standing up lizard.
Can't
Like, it is a question.
stand up all that much? Yes, do want to let you know these fine people down here, Video Drew, Video Chronic. Lot, are you going to be in the Godzilla?
Oh yeah, I've been preparing all week. I'm really tired of losing these Video Chronic quizzes, so I'm really dedicated myself to this one.
Yeah, we do Godzilla. We do Donkey Kong King Island, Skull Island.
Yeah, Donkey Kong King Island, nailed it.
And we do Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
That's all tomorrow at 9 p.m. That's my only plug.
So it's not the franchise in all Godzilla movies. It's just like
the legendary MonsterVerse, as they call it. So Godzilla, Kong,
the
and then
the very
Godzilla
angry caterpillar one.
Yes, right. Yes.
Yeah, the Mothra. Yep.
Well, that's going to be amazing. And definitely go hang out and watch them and do some really answer a whole bunch of questions and all things stand-up lizards. I can't thank you enough for making one of my favorite Schmoedown competitors in general. Genuinely, I love it so much. I love the big one so much. It really
I love any show.
T-shirt.
Any show that's going to refer to me as beloved this many times, I'm going to delight in participating in.
It's been an emotional night.
It was so nice. Everybody's so nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that Schmoedown is a pretty cool community sometimes. Sometimes. We do okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And Drew, obviously, I just love your presence and every single thing. I love you, girl. I know you weren't on the show, but still, it's cool to hang out. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Everyone in the chat, all 50 of you, I can't say enough, about you guys just to hang out with us every single time we do Schmoebates. Very beloved, you guys. Please like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. It would really do us a solid over here at Call to Action. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us anywhere, but also you can find us on audio form everywhere audio podcasts are found, essentially. But yeah, so you can find yourself, get yourself some merch with a mask or a t-shirt, whatever you want to do. And yes, Jake, you can find us and here the audio podcast on Anchor and all the Apple and Spotify and all the good places. Guys, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day. Keep watching movies and keep fighting. Stay true to your politics.
Bye.
Say bye, Shurs. Come here. Let's say bye.
Subscribe to the meeting.
Oh, I gotta go.
Say goodbye.
Oh,
First cut.
come here.
Oh, buddy.
Say bye.